Hi, how's it going? I'm Marlene. Thanks for wandering by. Welcome back to Deck and Walk 2023. This is it. This is the very last video that I'm making in the Deck and Walk series. Now, for those of you that just stumbled upon this video and have zero idea what a Decan or a Deck and Walk is, I'm going to just go over that briefly like I do at the top of every video. A decan is a piece of a zodiac sign. So all 12 of the zodiac signs are broken into three pieces called decans or faces, and those span 10 days or 10 degrees. And each of them has a correspondence to a particular tarot card in the minors from 2 to 10. And because of the sign and the planet, they also correspond to two major cards in the tarot. So in a deck and walk, what we've been doing is paying attention across every 10 days that particular tarot card and how the astrology corresponds to the tarot and how that changes or invokes or whatever creates the meaning or adds layers to the meaning of that particular minor card. So, yeah, that's what a deck and walk is. And that's what I've been doing since March of last year in 2023. And now we've come full circle, literally full circle around the zodiacal wheel to the very last decan, the very last zodiac sign of Pisces. And we're here. I'm a little bit like nervous, excited, kind of emotional, giddy, and I can't believe that this is it. Now, for those of you that are wondering, how to start, when to start, I have, like I said, did I say it? I don't remember. In the description box below is a playlist of all of the videos that I've made throughout this entire series. So please visit that. Plus, there's tons of resources there as well. Books that I've used, decks that I've used, free resources, blog posts, I mean, you name it. As I've gathered information, I've left it in the description box for you as well. Now, this one, I think, well, I'm doing this face forward because this is how I started the series. And also because I'm a hot mess. You got the messy bun. It's not a super fancy setup today. I want to keep it kind of short, I think, and sweet and simple for this very last decan. But I want to let you know that you can start a deck and walk whenever you'd like. So if you just happened upon this and are like, I missed it, just know that the cycle begins again, and it is a cycle. So it's a wheel, it's a circle. The zodiac, it traverses the year. It traverses a year, right? And you can start whenever you'd like. You can start in Aries season, which many folks do because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. You can start in January. You can start on your birthday. You can start on any random day that you want. You can do it whenever you'd like, however you'd like. Yeah, basically that's it. And also, today we're going to focus on the very last deck and card, and then I'll be back at some point after I've finished all this because I think I need some time to process. So I'll be back with more content that's going to be around like reflections on the deck and walk. Maybe I'll revisit and do like a little bit more of a how-to and show like all the resources one after the other that you can use as well. So I'll be back with that. But today I just can't believe that I've made it, that we've made it. And it's been quite a ride along the way. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and visit with our very last decking card for this particular series, this particular cycle, the third decan of Pisces. Okay, so here we have Mars in Pisces, which is the 10 of Cups. So now, before I get too into this card comes from the Divine Deck and Tarot by Reese Marin. This deck Reese sent to me a year ago for my journey, and I've used it all along because it has all of the Decan um, information right on the card. So super helpful. Plus, it has the Waite Smith depiction. So here we go. We're in Mars and Pisces, the third decan of Pisces. So up at the top, it tells us Mars and Pisces and mutable water. So Pisces is a water sign and it's mutable. And I've told you guys this before what mutable means. Mutable is transitory. So this particular sign comes at the end of its season. So it is the end of winter here in the northern hemisphere. And so Pisces is kind of like transitioning into spring. And then it tells us it's the third decan, 10 of Cups. Here it gives us the dates. So it says, March 11th through March 20th. Okay. The dates may vary depending on what what resources you are looking at, but I just have been following Reese Reese Marin's Divine Deck and Tarot, what's on this card. And here we have the 10 of Cups. Down below, we have the Hermetic title. It's shortened. So the Lord of Satiety. I know that this is the title that appears on the Thoth Tarot as well. And then, of course, our iconic Rider-Waite Smith depiction of the 10 of Cups. So every single decan card has a corresponding major cards based on the zodiac sign and the planet. And so we have been talking about Pisces. Well, first I'm going to show you also, because I've been using this deck, the Star Codes Astro Oracle has been like my go-to astrology deck for the Deck and Walk for most of it, about half, if not more than half. So Pisces, here's our Pisces card. We talked about Pisces in the last two decans. Sensitized. So Pisces is a very, I don't know, I feel like it's a really special zodiac sign. It's like, because it comes at the end, it has to do with cycles, it's emotional, it's psychic, it's really like upper chakras, right? So this is the sign that I feel like is tapped into something that's really otherworldly. And that's, yeah, and the fish is our iconic symbol for it. And it's also about like the span of a lifetime in my mind, because it's, aging, birth, death, rebirth, that kind of thing. But Pisces is also considered to be a really empathetic and emotional, very sensitive sign. So the card in the tarot, the major card that goes with Pisces, is the moon. And so, the moon is mysterious. The moon is, there's cycles. I mean, we've talked about the moon, like there's so much to say about, the tame versus the wild, the primal versions of ourselves, with that lobster. I don't know, that you can call it a bunch of different things. To me, it's always a lobster coming out. We've got, the cycles of water, of the tides, of the moon. So it's like a mystery. It's like, and it's also the dream world that we see in Pisces, in the moon. And then Mars, okay, so here's the thing about the decans. So if you've noticed along the way, and I'll put up, where will I put it up? I'll put it up here, the zodiac wheel. So if you've been paying attention all along, there's the patterns to the 7 classical signs that follow us all the way around, that give us our decan planet rulers. And there's 7 of them, and they follow they follow a particular pattern. So now we're back at the beginning, and it's interesting. Like, to me, what really stood out to me, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just tell you what the planet is. Well, I mean, you know what the planet is because we just saw it here. It's Mars. But the corresponding tarot card for Mars is the Tower. I know what you're thinking. The moon and the tower. How do we get this guy with these two cards? Mars and Pisces, the moon and the tower. And I got to be honest with you, this time around, I didn't look in one book. I didn't listen to one podcast. This is all me from what I've been doing over the last year. And what this made me think of is nothing but cycles. Something coming down, crashing down, ending and rebuilding and starting anew. Because that's what I get from this energy. Now, as I was saying, we're in Mars here at the end, and it's interesting because when you start the Decan wheel, you start in Mars. So we start with Mars and we end in Mars as well. And so that's what I think is what this made me think of. Bear with me because I'm a little bit spotty and all over the place. But that's what this made me think of, because it seems weird to end like in Mars here, like that the 10 of Cups, that this beautiful, like picturesque rainbow with this family and children. I mean, to me, it's always like a family. And I love depictions across the board that I've seen that, relate to, or that are inspired by the Waite Smith, with all different kinds of families, not just your nuclear family, not just like a heterosexual couple and children, but I've seen all different kinds of versions of this. I like that there's all different kinds of variety. For me, it's 100% the family that you like, found family, not just blood family. This is your happy place with the people that you love the most, because we're in the realm of emotion. So it could be anyone, pets, friends, partners, a singular partner, multiple partners, your, best friends, like whatever it is, just your happy place with the people who you love the most. That's what I see in the 10 of Cups. And I think that we got there because of these two influences and because of Pisces. When we think about, well, let me stop there for a second, because I just want to talk about cycles, because I'll get to these guys, because this is where we started, right? In the Decan walk, Mars in Aries, and we ended in Mars in Pisces. So cycles in the tarot, there are so many of them. There's the cycle of the majors, right? From the Fool to the World. Or you could even take the Fool out at the beginning and put the Fool at the end. That's a journey, right? The Fool's journey. There's a cycle in every single suit, right? From Ace to 10. There's a cycle from, in the court cards, from the Page to the King. Like a journey there as well that you can visit. You can look at the cycle of the suits from Ace to King as well. You can look at the entire cycle of all of the minors from however you line up your suits. Like I go from Wands to Cups to Swords to Pentacles. So you can look at, the from the Ace of Wands all the way to the 10 of Pentacles as a cycle as well. You can look at all different kinds of cycles. And the Decan wheel for me is now another cycle through the tarot. And it begins with the 2 of Wands, Mars in Aries, and it ends with the 10 of Cups, Mars in Pisces. And I love that it starts with Mars and ends in Mars as well as our Decan planetary ruler, because of the energy and vitality of Mars. Now, the Golden Dawn, because so we're going with the tarot, the associations laid down by the Golden Dawn, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. So like I was saying, they created that pattern of the 7 classical planets: Mars, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do it? It's, hang on, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter. Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter. Like, if you want to have like a mnemonic device to remember it, you could do that too. So the way that it worked out, this is the only time in the wheel, right? The beginning and the end where you have Mars hitting each other, right? So it's beginning in Mars and ending in Mars. And so Mars, well, here's the Mars card from the Star Codes Astro Oracle, right? This motion. I think of Mars. Mars is so many things. Mars is red, and Mars is energy, and Mars is fire, and Mars is angry, and Mars is, corresponds to me to Aries. Mars and Aries is the same, god, the Greek and the Roman. Mars is, warlike, and Mars has so much energy and so much vitality and so much just oomph. And it really, for me, goes very well with the wands, right? The wand suit, the fire suit in the tarot. But the energy here, I feel like it's like beginning and endings as well, at least when I think of it, this particular cycle. When you look at the Mars and Aries, which is the tower in where is he? The Emperor, right? So like back when we first started, we were looking at dominion. We were with this person who was looking out over the countryside, and it's like conquering, right? So the whole thing behind it was about conquering this particular land, this dominion, and gaining control over the place, right? And so coming in and basically, that's my bomb, right? So like kind of just destroying to create a new, right? So maybe this person was the one that was picking up the pieces from some sort of destruction of the past to build their order, to create their world, right? And so in this cycle of the Decan, that's where I feel like we started. We were looking out over this, I don't know, like metaphorical landscape of our minds, our hearts, and our whole lives. And we, along the way, we traversed all this stuff along the way throughout the zodiac wheel, right? You can think of it narratively if you want to. And because of, Aries, right? At the beginning, Aries, it's all that like action energy where it's that beginning energy, and it's the first, right? And Pisces now at the end, here's Pisces, sensitized, and it's from this realm of like understanding, like this depth of understanding. What we didn't know at the beginning, we know now in Pisces. We didn't know. We were just starting. We were getting out there. We were planning and plotting and thinking and setting out perhaps on some type of quest, literal, metaphorical, imagined, whatever it may be. And Mars is the energy that comes in to like, basically destroy. It's the catalyst, right? A tower moment in your life is a catalyst for change. It's a catalyst for something different, for like something breaking, something, having to be rebuilt. Not necessarily, I mean, it's ending, but it's also just something, it's a catalyst. That's how I see the tower. It's just a catalyst for like, it's a shakeup, right? That's how we talk about it. Here, it was a catalyst to like get a grip on, get dominion, get control, right, over your life. That's how I see it. And at the end, though, of the cycle of the decans, we have, the moon, right? So it's next level. It's like otherworldly. It's that space in the heart and the mind, the dream world, the astral, which I can't claim to know much about that, but that feels like where it is. It's like someplace else. in our consciousness, right? That's what the moon is, the subconscious. And it's all of our hopes and dreams and loves. Like this is, you know, when you do those exercises, if you've ever done them, where like a meditative exercise where you're closing your eyes and picturing like the place where you feel the safest and the happiest. um, that's what I think is embodied in the Ten of Cups. The most loved, the most safe, whomever is there with you. You know, this is just one, I think, one potential, you know, for one type of person. I think there's so much more that it can be. And that rainbow, you know, that rainbow of um of dreams, that, you know, that's what a rainbow feels like to me. And it brings, it's unity as well. So it's uniting um people, emotions, everything, anything, right? I'm kind of wild and all over the place, but it just feels, this just feels like what it is to me. Because like I said, this is all my gut instincts talking here about this cycle that we've started and have ended now in Mars and Pisces. And it just makes sense that when you have this catalyst um, in this world of subconscious, that you find your happiness, not just your happiness, but like more than that. It's like the, like tipped over into the most serene, beautiful love that you can have, and connection with yourself and the world around you. And that's what the Ten of Cups is. It's like too much. It's like, is it, you know, even real, right? Is it even real? That begs the question when you have the moon here. Is it even real? And I think you have to, if you're looking at from in the decans, you have to understand this one, this Mars energy in Pisces. You have to understand this Mars energy in Aries from the start, because I mean, I'm just saying, as like a universal, we we started here and we ended here. We had the whole world ahead of us, and now we found the things that make us satiated, right? That make us whole, that complete us. And then we start again. And then we can start again, because there's no end to catalysts. There's no end to, you know, things changing, and more catalysts and shakeups, and things happening, and another journey, you know, beginning. And just like cards everywhere, right? And I feel like it's so appropriate for me personally, just like in my own experience doing this deck and walk with you all out there. And I'm gonna get choked up here, but let me just get through this. Just like being with you along this ride with the community, having the feedback that I've gotten, it just feels like a collective experience, you know? And that's the Ten of Cups. It's a collective experience. Like, you are not alone feeling, you know, you are not alone, you know, you're not alone. Out, you can seek out, you know, seek out that place and find your community, your people. That, you know, that it feels that way too. And it's so appropriate for the end of this cycle, because I feel that, have felt that throughout my journey, you know, here just in this space on YouTube, having made this, you know, Deck and Walk series with all of you, and having your support as I'm learning, you know, I'm learning. I've been learning all along with you. So yeah, I mean, that's it. It's short and it's sweet, because I feel like um the true meaning here for me, or the underlying meaning, or the most important takeaway, is this cycle, and that the tarot is full of cycles. And the Decan wheel for me is just another one of them now, with this layer of understanding these planet energies and these zodiac sign energies. It's another cycle, another understanding of another wheel, right? Another turning, and how it works through seasonally in my area as well, and how it just works through the year and through time, and so on and so forth. I could get like super grand and philosophical, but that's where it brought me to. I don't, I couldn't talk about, the tower and the moon, Mars and Pisces, without looking at how we got here. And I feel like, you know, we're here. And it just feels so lovely to end on this particular note of the Deck and Walk series. Then this night, might not be the ending of your cycle, how wherever you start and finish the Deck and Wheel. That could be a different cycle for you from your own, like say you're doing it from your birthday to, from one year to the next, or from January to January, however you do, it'd be interesting to look at it. But I love the beginning in Mars and ending in Mars on the Decan wheel with the 12 zodiac signs. And yeah, that's it. I think that's it for me, you guys. I just like been babbling at you just off the cuff, just coming from my heart, how I've learned so much throughout this particular journey, just about myself, about this has added such a deep layer to my understanding of the minor cards and the major cards too, and how they interact with one another. I'm definitely not done working with decans and decan energy. Like that will be a thing now. So like I said, I'm gonna probably take some time to like process all of this, and come back to you with some more reflections on the decans, as I continue, I'm making content here on YouTube, because I'll definitely be continue making content here on YouTube. But that's it for this Deck and Walk series. I have created a spread, as I have done all along, that I'll leave you a link to in the description box below, for Mars and Pisces. But I'm gonna make like a more, an announcement. But just so you know, I will be putting out a spread book of all of the spreads from the Deck and Walk. That's going to be coming to you soon. That's going to be coming to you soon. So look out for that. I'll probably make a separate video with, announcing it, where you can get it. So stay tuned for that, because that's coming. It's a spread book with all the spreads, maybe some little extra goodies in there as well. But look for that, because that is in the works. And that's it for Deck and Walk 2023. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following along with me. For those of you that have been with me from the beginning, for those of you that hopped on halfway through, anywhere that you hopped on all along, if you are starting anew, or if you are coming to the end of your journey sometime in the future, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful third decan of Pisces, a beautiful, wonderful end to your Decan Walk, or wherever you may be in it, and a beautiful, wonderful day.